right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Unheard. We are here yet again. First of all, I am Verol Billett, and
I'm Jason Henry.
Alright, so today we have a few things to talk about. First of all, this episode is going to be released on October 10, and for years now, October 10 is celebrated as World Mental Health Day. So what that means, it's a day where we bring to the fore the need to protect our mental health as much as possible, and may I dare say to challenge all the stigma, to start doing things differently, to hold ourselves accountable, to support each other a lot more, and to possibly make movements to create policies and endorse policies and practices that helps to take care of that part of ourselves, our mental health. Because the reality is, some persons have grown tired of hearing this. There's no health without mental health, but it's so true. You need your mental health to really function. And so, big up everybody. Let it not be a one-day thing. I've said this for so many things, but we need to recognize that this is a forever thing. It's an everyday where we get up. It's a commitment to this cause for ourselves and each other. All right?
No different than physical health.
None whatsoever. So, for today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that I think many of us can relate to.
I think so.
We have lived it. Some of us are possibly living in it, whether we want to recognize it as such or not. I know I definitely have.
I don't want to talk all about that, but yes, I've done it, for sure.
So, what are we talking about? Well, stick with us by liking, sharing, subscribing to our page, commenting. We thank all persons for just supporting us thus far and continue to support us. And so yeah, Jason, before I even introduce what we're talking about, life has not been the smoothest for anybody, in my opinion. At some point, you're gonna have some amount of obstacles, right? Have you ever experienced or had the experience of a time where there is just something on the inside that nobody knows about, but from the outside person may think that you're fine and everything is good. You're holding it like a G, right? But on the inside, you feel like there's just something bubbling.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Not to curtail the bigger point that we're gonna make, but I do think that slow build, that slow, that progression of emotion, that initially it was like something had happened, you're trying to hold it, as you said, but then it's like more things are being added. And as more things are added, there's more things being tabulated emotionally. And then it's kind of like, it's almost like a countdown. It kind of starts where it's like, what's coming next? When is the next shoe going to drop? And what am I gonna do when that next shoe drop? Am I even gonna recognize myself based on what's gonna happen next?
Okay. So for me, definitely, as I said in many places and to many people, teenage years was a time. It was an interesting period of my life where a lot of things were kept on the inside.
Yeah.
And so That's why I said I think a lot of us at some point or another have been through this. Because today we're going to be talking about rage. In fact, in our planning, we encountered this statement slash question: rage as a love language.
Right. Right.
And both of us quite liked it.
Yeah.
Okay. Rage as a love language. Now, we hear this rage. What is rage? Love language? That doesn't make sense because that's not a part of one of the 5 love languages that we've been hearing about all these years.
Right.
But let's dig into it.
Where you want me to start?
Rage.
Yeah, let's go. You like as in define rage.
Can we?
I mean, I definitely think it's like an intense anger. It's more than anger, but there's a certain intensity to it. You know? It's almost like if you were to ask somebody, you know, like, how angry were you on a scale of 0 to 10? But then they pass 10, and then go like 11, 12. I feel like you're in that domain of rage at that point.
Okay. How I think about rage is, yes, there's this scale, this spectrum type of thing, and it's anger magnified
Right.
and manifested.
Facts.
Right? It's something that is, I guess you can see anger, but it's something that you don't need a magnifying glass,
No.
right? And it with rage, there is a component of that feeling or that state that includes destruction.
Facts, yeah.
The aim is to hurt, whether it's intentional or unintentional, because sometimes you fly into a rage, a fit of rage, and for all intents and purposes, you don't know what you're doing in that moment.
But sometimes it can also be used for protection.
I think so, yeah. Yeah. Because some person may think that this is weird, but I do think that there are 2 types of selfishness. There's the selfishness that we're born with, and then there's selfishness that, you know, through life we grow to be, and where you start to demean people or to hold back from people, and you're just being malicious.
Yeah, like you're discounting their feelings, you're discounting their boundaries.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think for some persons where rage is concerned is that natural selfishness where it becomes protective. You're doing it because your boundaries were crossed, and this is just how you're reacting in this moment. So that's what I mean. Can you be intentionally rageful? Sure, I think.
Yes, I do, but it's almost like, well, technically, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like some persons they know that I am going to destroy this person's life. I'm going to hurt this person. I'm going to cut this down.
And so if
Clean.
I show this threat, then you won't mess with me. You won't bother me. You'll do what I want.
Or
you
others won't.
Right.
So we do, but I think though rage doesn't just come forth just like that. It's not a resting space.
Right.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Please challenge me if you think I'm wrong. But I don't think anybody or most persons were born rageful or with rage just pouring out.
No.
I think things happen. And for us as men, well, we can see where, from my standpoint, I can see where a lot of men exude rage. And it's directed towards self and towards others, but more so others. But I think it's misunderstood sometimes.
Agreed. Because the thing about it is, and this is kind of like one of those jokes that people make, but it's not like haha funny. It's kind of like, wow, that's painful, kind of funny.
Oh, like, jokes.
Yeah, what did you hear?
Drugs.
No, I suppose maybe people get addicted to it, I suppose, but no, jokes. But the thing is like, men, there's like this kind of stereotype with men where it's like they have two modes, which is either silence or rage, or silence or anger. And I find that, like, as you were talking about the challenge in terms of like everyone having different problems, and then if everybody has different problems, okay, but what you can do about that? Some people can deal with it in a way that makes sense in terms of like, okay, let me go talk to somebody, or you know, they're in therapy, or they have like some kind of like techniques that they use to self-soothe, whatever, breathing techniques, whatever, visualization, whatever. But with men, the stereotype with men, and I don't even think it's just Jamaican men, I feel like it's a worldwide species problem for men, where it's like, I'ma hold it, right? I'ma be stoic. It's not really stoic, but I'm gonna be stoic. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be silent, and just bear it, because that's manly. That's what men do. They just bear. It's like Sisyphus rolling the boulder up the. I hope I get the right person. Yeah, I think.
Yes, it's Sisyphus.
Right, rolling the boulder up the thing, and you just see them just like endure, and it's like, whoa, what a man. He's really enduring that, but you can't really show the pain, so you have to go on like everything, Chris, right? But what ends up happening is that you experience that pain, you experience those problems, but you get more and more and more, because as you move that boulder up the incline, let's face it, it's always going to be rolling back down. So you're always going to be having to push even more and exert even more pressure or strength. But you're a mere mortal, so what are you going to do?
So there is a lot of suffering in silence.
Right.
And that silence, for many men, breeds anger and resentment,
Right.
which can turn into rage.
Yeah.
So we have different things that will pop up. So there's a sense of numbness. Don't care, like whatever happen, you know what? Screw that, can't bother. Anything or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's life. That's how it goes.
So it go. But then there's also the pain, like physical pain. Have you ever had physical pain that was as a result of emotional pain?
Psychosomatic stuff. But you know, I don't want to tell the whole story. It's a very long story, but trust me.
Well, I just asked if you had it, if you've ever experienced it.
It's true, I want to talk about it because it's such a good example. Basically, there was like, I'll just read a real quick summary. There was something I was supposed to tell somebody, but I was afraid of how they were going to react. And so for a month, I didn't say it. But then after that month, I started to have pain in my stomach. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? But like every day it would get worse and worse and worse and worse. Right? And I'm, you know, at this time I'm like, I think I just finished my undergrad. So we know about the psychosomatic thing, but we not really think at that. And then psychology kick in and it's like, yo, check what's going on. Like really actually question yourself. And I was like, oh right. I forgot. I didn't say that thing to that person that I should have said. And then the moment I said it, everything was fine.
I think that's so heavy still. I know for me, I have said that my teenage years was a wild ride. And it spilled over to my young adult years, in my early 20s. And it was while pursuing my undergrad, it peaked. I would say pain.
Yeah.
For me, it was chest pains and pains in other parts of my body. My group of friends forced me to the health center. Blood pressure high, to the point where the nurses were like, okay, the doctor is on lunch, but we're going to disturb her because you're not leaving here today.
That bad.
Right? And then when I saw the doctor did the checks, like, boy, I don't see anything, So here what? So when you come out of this office, kind of go in the corner and go make an appointment with the counseling unit. Yeah?
Good advice.
It was unmatched. So I've from then, and I've said this to persons, physical pain is much more bearable, I guess,
Yeah.
than emotional pain. Right?
Because it still come with the physical.
Right. But the physical pain can distract you from what's going on.
Emotional.
Though it's a symptom of.
Yeah.
Right? And so we do see it where many men hold things and their headaches, high blood pressure, diabetes, muscle pain, hypertension, all the injuries act up, and you're like, what's going on here?
IBS.
IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, upset stomach,
Heart
attack, stroke. All these different things, if we're not careful, there is that psychological component that we tend to put on the back burner because the psyche is real because you're not seeing it.
But prior to even those like physical manifestations, you're gonna have that like flat effect. You're gonna have that like withdrawal, social withdrawal, maybe even like social anxiety.
You can, yeah.
Right.
Not wanting to interact. The development of addictions, whether it's gambling, sex addiction, addiction to the gym, addiction to food, addiction to cars or whatever. It can be anything. Right? And so one of the things that we have to realize as a people is that when you're burdened, your entire being can't function as it ought to function. Right? And if you're not careful, we can develop vices, yes. And I know many men say, oh, I go to the gym to relax and I play football or I hang out with friends, and because the stresses are elsewhere, right? And while those things are good, I feel like they just, like a balloon.
Yeah.
You inflate the balloon, you constantly inflating the balloon. Those things, if you're not careful, can serve as you just letting out a little bit of air each time. So as the balloon about to burst, you let out some air, right? And then it wrap up again. Yeah. And then another time, more air going in now, somehow, right? Yeah. But then you go play some dominoes, you get a little break, and it lets out again, right? So the issue is that you're constantly being burdened, overloaded to an extent, and at some point the balloon not gonna burst, and we don't want the balloon to burst, which speaks to the idea of moving from, and I think this is just us as a people in general, moving from being reactive and stepping into a space of being proactive as much as possible. So doing things to help yourself, to protect yourself before you actually need to do something to heal yourself, if you get what I mean.
I do, but unfortunately for many of us, it don't happen that way.
No.
So whether that could be loss of a relationship, death of someone close to you, any kind of disaster really, whether natural, interpersonal, intrapersonal, once those things happen and that quiet strength, which, don't get it twisted, I'm not saying that, oh yeah, you have a problem, you must just go tell everybody your problems. Not necessarily, sometimes you really and truly, if you really can hold it, you're good, right? But it's not so much hold it, it's really so much like, it's more so, you can actually do what you need to do to calm down, to de-stress, and to get back to that like emotional safe zone,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you can do that, cool, right? And you don't want to stress out the people around you because you know you can handle it, cool, no problem.
As long as you have the resources to do so.
Right.
But it's being about being honest with yourself when you are at a point where you are burdened.
Yeah.
And what I'd say is, even when you have the resources to handle a situation, it doesn't necessarily mean you don't feel burdened.
Precisely.
And you can still feel burdened. So the allowing of the help that you need probably won't be physical. It can just be, yo, you good?
Yeah. Just someone just like kind of validating your experience as well. Someone just being there, even just like a hug or like just presence.
Can we go for drinks a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
just to get a break?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
So I said that because in that silence, because some persons on the outside may look on and say, oh, you really are well, you're really doing well.
Mm.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you don't need help. And so I feel like sometimes, or many a times, because you carry the load well,
Mm.
persons don't check for you.
Yeah, they think you have it.
Right? And I just think that needs to stop.
I do, especially because like here's the thing, because as you said, right, when you build up to that point, you're not really taking care of yourself, you're not really taking care of your mental health. It starts off as silent. That slow build of anger comes, not even just anger. It starts off as
It's a
just like
complicated cocktail
exactly.
of
It's
different
more than
things.
one emotion, really, right? So it can be grief plus anxiety plus this person cut me off, so I'm still pissed off about that. Get into anger and then it reach rage now. Who is really gonna get that? Sure, could be the person that's some rando on the street, but a lot of the times is the people closest to us, right? And that is where people make they have the notion that men really only have two modes, which is silence and rage, because the silence was all you saw because you weren't seeing what was going on inside because the man never told you, right? The man might not have even told himself, right? Because he's trying to just push that down. But no, it pop up now, it explode, and the persons around them, wife, mother, children, friends, co-workers. And when that reach now, I think it might even elicit some shame.
Of course.
Because if masculinity is defined by being stoic and habit and ray, and now you are yelling and rant and rave, people are going to say, including men, I want to.
Yeah, mama man, yes, you see what we are going so far.
Mm?
You see,
Or even just be or they might not even say that, they might just be afraid of you.
that is also true.
So now if you even want to say something, you might not even want to even do that. There's even less incentive now because, now I'm frightened off my picking them, frighten my wife, and now how am I even going to make this connection?
And then sometimes you're not aware for you to understand what happened and possibly how to correct it.
Right.
Because in some instances, at some point, there's a need for acknowledgement that, hey, something is going on with me. I'm sorry for handling that. I need to figure out how to correct it. And that sometimes never come, and that is very damaging. But the thing is, when pain has no permission, it disguises itself. So yes, the shame will be there, the guilt can be there, disappointment, all those other heavy emotions are now wrapped up, and now you enter this cycle. And then because it's so uncomfortable, you seek other outlets.
Yeah, sex,
So
drugs,
the
food.
Band-Aid, if you will.
Or overworking.
Yeah. Always on the road, doing this, doing that. Right? So the Band-Aid goes on, this band-aid is exchanged for another band-aid. Soon and very soon, the adhesive going wear off and don't stick.
Plus, the infection going spread throughout that whole limb.
Right. Everything is just... And then for some persons, it can get to a point where they're like, well, but try this, but not nobody to talk to. So guess what? This is what it is. So there's this acceptance of this is just how life is right now. Who like it, who don't, tough, right? Or I'm so unhappy, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, like, a lot of us will look at that rage, whether that was something that we experienced or we might hear about it with our clients or whatever. And when people talk about the rage, or when we ourselves talk about the rage, other people like pointed at us, we never look at it in terms of, well, let me phrase it this way. We look at it in terms of like, they're angry at us. We didn't wash the dishes in time, thus you are this enraged. But at the same time, you know that the reaction does not, that level of anger does not warrant, the what we did, the failures we had or whatever, the things we did, doesn't warrant that level of reaction. Why are you rageful because the plates aren't washed like we could wash the plates? Or why are you rageful because you got a C in chemistry? Okay, you got a C in chemistry, all right. I mean, we just try better next time. The rage don't match that. So what it kind of looks like is, this is an attempt to connect, which as the person experiencing the rage, like the one who's bearing the brunt of the pain, you would never interpret it that way. You would only interpret it as, you're angry at me because of something I did. This is how a lot of children will feel, and then they grow into adults, and they still carry that burden.
The cycle continues.
Right, and then you would do it yourself, yeah. So then now, when you really look at it as like, this person is actually trying to connect, it's almost like, even me saying it, I almost want to just like discard that, like, they're not trying to connect. They're just like, can I curse on this? It's my show, and I don't even know if I can curse on the show.
Do we want to curse?
I don't know. All right, let's say asshole. Okay. So you're being you just think this person's being an asshole. You just think this person is just being like completely unreasonable. They're just being a jerk. They're just being like completely messed up.
Sometimes you think they're intentionally doing this.
Or they're actually trying to mess with you. Yeah. But the irony is, you didn't actually know that this is like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 problems culminating into just blowing up on you.
The straw that brought the camel's back.
Right.
Right? I completely agree with you. There are many things that have happened that led to this way. I strongly believe that every behavior we all engage in or do, there's a reason for it. Whether we know it or not, there is a reason for it. So if I step in the house and I see that there are dirty plates in the sink, I see my children, my teenage children, there doing homework, my wife is in the bed, and I said dirty plates in the sink, but there's no food, no dinner prepared, and I go off the handle. I've had a long day at work, I go off the handle. What is it about? Is it that me, the father, and the husband being a straight up asshole? Or is there something else? But the thing is, I think that being angry, just anger, not even reach rage, is so uncomfortable for persons to see.
Yeah.
Because there's this ownership that a lot of us take on when we are around persons who are angry, and we know or feel like it's directed towards us. There's we made this happen. And so, of course, I think it's there for rage. But it does require, I think, a reflection of all persons involved. Because that false ownership, we can call it, does something to the individual.
Absolutely.
Right? It makes the home feel unsafe. It makes the home feel unsafe. And then on the father's side and the husband's side, chances are it's like, I'm not wanted here, I'm not needed, I'm not appreciated, I don't belong here. I'm just a tool. I'm just an ATM.
And that's coming from distorted thinking from the rage. So think about that, right? So on the one hand, you have someone, they're like walking on eggshells because they don't know when daddy going to like explode again, or mommy, right? And then on the other hand, it's like, boy, I just keep messing up, right? Or can't bother with them people there, you know, because you know things have gotten so distorted, you can't even take accountability for your own reactions. Right? And that's something that so many people complain about, because it's like, why is it that you keep exploding on us, you keep hurting us, and you're never taking responsibility for that? They never took responsibility a long time ago, because there were things happening within them, emotional things happening within them, because of something that was not in their control, right? This traumatic experience here, or that abuse over there, or that disappointment there, or that grief over there. So they weren't responsible for that. And because they weren't responsible for that, the emotions that come up within them, they don't think they're responsible for that, which is not true. They are responsible for that. And they're also responsible for dealing with the emotions so that they do not take their burden, put it on someone else, because no, that's not their fault. Yes, that's you. But they, the child or the spouse or the coworker or the friend, no, they have a responsibility to deal with their own emotional problems. And the cycle continues, as you said.
So I have a thing that I've said it to a person. Some persons take offense to it, but hey, your emotion is your business. It's not that other people don't care, right? But really and truly, your emotion is your emotion. People can't make you angry. Right?
Tell them again for me.
People can't make you angry. Your anger is a response or reaction to something somebody did, which they have all right to do.
Right. It's your interpretation. Yeah.
And so they did something, and this is how you now feel as a result of that, because something was triggered in you. So that's your reaction or response. And so, just in general, all emotions, they come with a message, all of us. So even with rage, right? And I'll zone into rage in a little bit, but all emotions come with a message. And as a person who is feeling it, it's your responsibility to do that decoding, which I think a lot of persons don't do.
Because even in love, right? If someone treats you well, right? It's like, that's still something that you're experiencing. Someone else could do the exact same thing, and they wouldn't necessarily feel love. They might even feel like, you know, but it's benign to them.
Right? And so with anger, I usually say that anger is an indication that a personal boundary has been crossed, right? And so for you to figure out what that boundary is, right? And then you have decisions to make. Do I speak to the person? If they listen and are willing, then we can work on something. If they're not, then I'm like, do I stay or do I say peace out?
Right.
Okay? But you have it's a way to maintain your individual agency and power. Right? Now with rage, when we get into a rage, especially after a long time of being silent, I just see it as your body really, your body and mind finally kicking in and saying, okay, I'm tired of staying silent, and some way, somehow, somebody gonna hear me.
Yeah.
But
Because you're trying to connect.
You're trying to connect. But it is done in a way that, where rage is concerned, chances are there's something that is being destroyed in the process.
Yes.
I said something. You see, I said something.
It's funny. I was like waiting for you to say it,
Right.
but you found it, right?
I think so. I said something earlier, guys, when we were talking and planning. Okay. And Jason found it quite
Illuminating.
illuminating.
Yeah, yeah,
And what I said was that rage is a manifestation of uncontrolled vulnerability. Rage is a manifestation of uncontrolled vulnerability because what it does is that it exposes the hurt that you've been feeling without you intentionally doing so.
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so it's something that we need to be aware of. So when persons get into a rage, it's not the it's not this space. It's not a comfortable space for anybody.
Mm.
But it does give us information
Yes.
that this person is hurting.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like an emotional compression
Mm-hmm.
that was basically has now broken,
Mm-hmm.
and so now it's like I would say bleeding out, usually more gushing out,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I will say this as well, because I do think a lot of people will hear what we're saying and think that maybe we're making excuses for people who are like emotionally violent or abusive,
Oh,
which we're
no.
not, right?
No.
We're literally just trying to explain the mechanism behind why it happened. Not that we're not trying to say it was right. We're not trying to excuse the behavior.
Or the possible mechanism.
Right. Or yeah, right. Because the reality of the situation is there are people who definitely will use rage, as you had alluded to before, as an attempt to control, as an attempt to manipulate. While yes, I might still agree that no one is born doing that, and they would have had to have learnt that. The reality is, when that rage is genuine, the reality is it was never just coming from nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It stemmed from
Something.
incremental growth of things not being dealt with,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for a lot of people, you can even exceed the rage, and it goes into physically harming people, physically harming the self,
Mm-hmm.
etc.
Mm-hmm. And then we can talk about after the event, the rageful event, there is other things that comes up that will come up. So the anxiety, the shame that we spoke about, wanting to run and hide from people because, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I allowed that to happen. And then from other persons, disbelief and disappointment because we've never thought that you were that type of person, or we never thought that
Yeah.
you'd have gone that far.
That's unlike you. Yeah.
But again, this whole conversation, for me, I just want to, from this conversation, I want persons to recognize that there is no one way of looking at this whole experience of rage.
Yeah, we're just talking about one way,
Right?
but there's more than one way.
There are different ways to look at it, and there are persons out there who have felt genuine remorse
Right.
after they have had a rageful event. They've been rageful episode, but they don't know what to do with it, or there's no space for them to really and truly healthily explore it. And there's also shame because in addition to we've said that before, but in addition to the rageful incident, some persons can come to some recognition that, oh, this is what my father did,
Yeah.
this is what my grandfather did, this is what my brothers did, or this is whatever caused me to fly off the handle was triggering for me, and it brought me back to something of the past. But what can I do about it? What can I do about it?
I guess we can talk about the healing now.
I'm old now. There's no time, or there's no. I can't learn anything new. I can't do things differently.
Better learn something new.
So there's a lot of silence too. There's a lot of regret.
Yeah.
So there's depression, possibly,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
that persons experience later on in life, especially if, as a result of those actions, they don't have anybody around, or they hardly have anybody around them.
You think
So
because they chased them away with the rage?
possibly,
Yeah.
especially if there were repeated episodes
Mm.
of it.
They might find themselves around some enablers too. But that's so funny because it's like that must be even more invalidating because like the last thing a rageful person needs is an enabler because they're never gonna actually be able to tell you
Oh, the
what you're
yes,
doing wrong.
the yes people,
Yeah.
the yes people. Yeah, but if we're talking about, okay, how do we deal with all of this? Because I make it very clear, I would never ever tell anybody not to get angry. I think that would be unhealthy.
No, yeah, you have to actually get angry.
Anger done or experienced in a healthy way is so illuminating. But you have to allow yourself to feel. And I think that having good people around you who give you that space is actually quite helpful. The ability to recognize, first of all, what you are feeling and exploring that, and not allowing yourself to hurt other people in the process, but to find ways that will allow you to figure out what the message is, what the boundaries were, and how do I move forward in a progressive way so that I learn from the experience and move on.
So you would say the first step to healing is really, it's almost like a stereotype at this point, but self-awareness.
Recognition.
Yeah.
Recognition. What is this I'm feeling? Why is this happening? You know, and then from there we can take action. It's problem solving. So, do I need to calm myself down? Do I need to talk to somebody? Do I need to write it out? Do I need to go play some ball? Do I need to go pump some iron in the gym? Do I need to go play some dominoes for a little bit? But that's not the end of it because there needs to be an awareness of what is behind it. So you probably take those steps to really chill a little bit, to give yourself some time to just mend what's going on, what's been happening, and then, all right, then what's the game plan from here on out?
Yeah.
Do I need to go and talk to somebody, talk to my brethren? Do I need to book a session with a therapist or a counselor? Do I need to go sit down and one, two certain things and then bring it to somebody else? It's not a bad idea to talk to a trusted person, whether it's a peer or somebody who's older. There are persons around. Because the reality is recognizing that if you ever through something, somebody else has gone through it, or they're going through it now.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, I could maybe give one caveat.
what's
All right, so like, I think one of the challenges, and I've seen it like in the practice so far, it's like there are some people who they have like alexithymia, where there is a difficulty in even feeling emotions anyway. They don't have the language to put to feelings, right? If you ask them how do you feel, they tell you what they think, right? They talk about other people, they talk about context, they'll talk about anything, everything other than what's going on inside, right? And so in contexts like that, it's really important that there be, the first place you have to start is you really have to have that interest in what's going on inside, right? And the only way to have that interest in what's going on inside is to not demonize emotion, right? So I think one of the best ways to do that is to remember when you're feeling positive emotions, because everybody loves positive emotions, right? So if I'm feeling positive emotion, right, that means that all I gotta do is kind of be more aware of that So I'm watching a comedy, I'm laughing, right? I'm amused. Or someone is hugging me. I feel that warmth, I feel loved, I feel seen, I feel valued, nurtured, whatever. That's fantastic, right? So we know that positive emotions are important because they show us what we value, what we need, what nurtures us, and what grows us. But at the same time, you need the negative emotions too, because if you don't have that, you don't know what's dangerous. You don't know what you need to avoid. You don't know what you need to like face. You don't know your own boundaries. So how are you going have all this good stuff going on and you're feeling that negative emotions come? Boy, I'm just completely numb to that. You're never gonna know what to do.
I think too, Jason, is the judgment that I guess we learn through socialization, but the judgment that we have on ourselves. Pretty much, I feel angry, but should I feel angry about this?
Or like you question.
I feel sad, but should I feel sad about this? And my thing is, if something happens and you feel sad, you feel sad.
Mhm.
Why you feel sad? I don't know. Okay, but you feel sad.
Honor that.
If someone bad drive you, if a taxi man bad drive you, and you feel angry, you feel annoyed. But what you feel annoyed for?
Yeah.
You know, it's a taxi man saying, but you feel annoyed.
Yeah. It's like you're trying to talk yourself out of the experience.
Yeah.
Which is a big part of the problem. Have the experience.
And the thing too, and I think because these strong, overwhelming, not so feel good emotions are so strong, people try to avoid them. They try to get over them quickly.
You don't want to feel pain.
The reality is that where all emotions are concerned, there's nothing that says we're supposed to be feeling them or we're supposed to be in that state forever.
Right.
Right? What it means is that every single one of them should be, we feel it and we move on. We feel it and we move on. We feel it and we move on.
People don't get that. They're afraid that it's gonna like last forever if they allow themselves to feel it. What a trick when you realize is because you're running away from it, that's why it will never leave.
Because we stuff it out, and we can talk about the defense mechanisms, and we don't. I don't think we use them. Some of us, I think all of us. But, anyways, the point is we don't use them properly because we suppress a lot. But suppression is a defense mechanism. But the idea is we're supposed to go back to it.
Yeah,
you
use
someone
it
want to
temporarily
right
for self-preservation and protection, but don't use it as a crutch.
Because trust me on this one, if you refuse to go back to it, life is going to make you face it.
Yeah.
And I usually tell people, you don't want that. So please, voluntarily, whatever the things that has happened, as whenever they pop up, and you just allow yourself some time and space to process as much as you can. And if you need help, seek the help that you need to process it and face it. Because every time you stuff it down, it comes back more powerful.
Facts.
Another way in which rage comes forth is through loss. I know we haven't touched on that.
Slightly, like grief, but
So loss is experienced when you lose something valuable. It can be a person, it can be a job, it can be anything at all. And there's this separation that you feel, and we advocate that we go through this grieving process, and a part of the grieving process is anger.
Facts.
And that's completely normal. And normalizing how we feel, normalizing emotions in general needs to start happening.
But especially the negative ones, man, because that is what everybody running from.
And so when we experience these laws, as there should be space for us to feel through as much as we can, right? Because if not, then we can become rageful, the rage. People pretty much, I guess the ultimate point of this whole conversation is for us not to be walking volcanoes.
Facts.
Right? Not to be walking volcanoes. Because the moment we erupt, we run the risk of destroying so many people.
Everybody you love.
And things.
Mm-hmm. And yourself.
And ourselves. Or jobs, or lifelines, or health, or society, everything. And so, rage being a love language.
It's like...
love for who?
Yeah, I mean, it's not love, but it's really just like, the rage is turned on those whom you love, often. That is really the thing. So we're not advocating like, oh yeah, well, my love language is rage, and now I'm going to do this to you. That's not what we're trying to say.
No.
For the love of God, we're not trying to say
No.
that, right? Just think of it as copywriting. That's it. It's marketing.
So if you love yourself and you love the people around you, you love you, or you're trying to love more of yourself, offer love to other persons, being a better person, I guess I would say that you need to put in the work on yourself and shed some light on yourself so that you can care for yourself, create space to explore what's happening, not what is wrong, but what's happening before
Start there,
we bubble over and chaos happens.
Right.
We don't want people to be rageful. We don't want people to be all over the place. But when rage happens, those around us, please, one, approach with caution. Because, again, it can, oftentimes it comes with destruction, but see it as a cry for help, too. That this person wants somebody to listen. Even before it gets to rage, anger. This person wants somebody to listen. They're upset. So if you are able to, offer a listening ear. If you're able to. Or point them in a direction where they can get that. Because I don't know where I said this. Was it here?
Probably.
But I stole it from... No, it was actually a presentation I had recently.
Oh.
Okay. To be loved is to be seen and heard.
Oh, yeah.
But I stole that from something else. That's somebody else's thing. I don't remember what
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I would say that even before the rage, there's the anger, but even before the anger is the silence. Right? I guess you could say the irritability, then the silence. Because
constant irritability. Would you say that, or just plain?
I would say, yeah, because like it's chronic. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you were feeling it and then you were able to let it go, then you would add that to the cadre of problems, right? But yeah, so like the rage, then the anger, then the irritability, but then the silence, right? You want to really be mindful of like, yo, if something happened, don't procrastinate when it comes to that, because the tabulation going to come up. Can you pay that check? Maybe not, right? You may end up losing too much, right? And so to prevent that kind of emotional attacks, pre yourself, check yourself, go within, be mindful of what's happening, right? And before it get to that irritability, before it get to that anger, before it get to that rage, before it get to that crash out, and before you get to losing all the things you love, the people, the relationships, the job, or yourself, try and seek some peace of mind.
All right, people, we spoke about rage. Let's not be rageful again, or let's not be rageful today. Today is World Mental Health Day, and we are asking asking all of us to just take care of ourselves, check in with ourselves, check in with each other. If you want to know how to check in, shameless plug, check the KAHLE Journey YouTube page, the same place where you're watching this. We have the Tough It Out and Build skills there. 6 simple skills. Just check it out and learn how to care for yourself. And trust me, those 6 skills, simple skills that we can use on a daily basis, seamlessly infused in our daily lives, will help us from entering into rage.
Yeah.
Actually.
And don't think just because it's simple that you just overlook it. Actually do it, because there's a reason it's simple. It's because this is what we need. But because it's so simple, we overlook it.
That is true. So, but the trick to it too is learn them, practice them before you need them.
Yeah, sure.
So that is our Tough It Out and Build skills. They're right where you're watching this video. Tell a friend to tell a friend, share it with a friend. Hear what? Send the link to your friends and family as a gift for World Mental Health Day.
I'm sure.
How does that sound? Send the link to this channel and highlight we have the playlist, the Tough It Out and Build playlist. We have our podcast, we have the shorts. Send the playlist to your friend. Everybody needs a gift on World Mental Health Day. Let that be it. Let's start a new tradition here, right? And practice them together. Learn them, practice them before you need them. When you need them, you want them to be just right at your fingertips. So they're already in your head.
Sounds good.
All right? So until next time, I'm Verol Billett.
I'm Jason Henry.
And we are from Dr. K.D. Morgan and Associates, as well as KAHLE Journey Limited. And we are your hosts for Unheard, the podcast. Pick up on yourself.